Hello, 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 lovely people. I hope you are well this Wednesday afternoon. I hope you're having a good day and that it's Wednesday, it's hump day, so how are you feeling? So, as you can see, I'm in the car park of my gym actually. Because you see the title of this live stream, it is how to motivate yourself and your team when you really don't feel like it. So let me just go back a bit. So hi, hello everybody, my name is Melanie Folks-Mayers. I'm Managing Director, CEO, founder of Eden Mayers HR Consulting. So HR Consulting to keep you out of trouble and delivering your passion. And so I thought I would jump on and do this live now while I'm in my car because and really talk about motivation and how you motivate yourself even when you and your team even when you don't feel like it, because that's how I felt today. So I've had a really great start to the week. So yesterday and Monday, meeting clients, helping them out, meeting potential clients, getting proposals out, really busy. Some clients I've been working with to get some funding and writing their bid work. They got all of that stuff. So all of that stuff's great. Team's growing, things are working beautifully. But this morning I woke up and I was just a bit out of sorts. And one of the things that I found personally is that I definitely need to get up in the morning and do something physical in order to get my brain working. And I think this morning I kind of woke up and it's supposed to be my rest day, so I wasn't supposed to be going to the gym or anything. So I ran on Monday, went to the gym on Tuesday, and I just felt a bit out of sorts and I was a bit snappy, and so got everybody up and out, dropped the children to school, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to do my yoga class. So I've got an amazing there's an amazing yoga teacher. In fact, there are a few amazing yoga teachers in my gym. There's one particular guy who does a class on a Wednesday and he does on a Saturday, and it's pretty hardcore, and I love it because you get to perspire and you're so thinking about getting the moves right. You don't have any time to focus on what's going on in your brain. And so I've done that and now I feel great and refreshed. I've made a couple of calls since I've got in the car, and then I'm going to head home and have some lunch and refresh myself before I get on to doing some more work. And I know that I'm lucky. I run my own business, which means that I can just step out of the office for a couple of hours if I need to, which is always helpful from a point of motivation. But I do know from speaking to clients that when you own business, you have to motivate yourself. There isn't anybody necessarily patting you on the back. You have to find your own way to do that. And so I just thought that I would share a few of the things that I do to motivate myself and to motivate my team, even when I don't particularly feel like it. Because sometimes you do walk in and in the morning and you are literally like, I just want to have a coffee, I just want to sit down. I'm not particularly a morning person, and then suddenly there are problems coming out. Your team needs your help, they need your support, and you need to do that. How do you do that? How do you G yourself up? So whether you are live or on the replay, do feel free to comment and let me know, and answer the questions that I'm asking. So I'm not an extrovert. I probably that's definitely not where I sit. So when I do all of the personality trait things, I'm always an introvert. I'm a person who I guess an extrovert tends to get energy from being around other people, and an introvert tends to find that their energy is a bit sapped by being around lots of people. So I love being around lots of people. I'm from a big family, but I recognise that after I've spent like a day with them or whatever, I probably need a few hours of peaceful, quiet time to recover. And so for me, it's really important that I take time to prepare myself. So one of the big things that I do around motivating myself is taking that time in the morning. So even if I don't feel like it, so for example today I came and went to the yoga, I always take that time to put on some inspirational music, or sometimes it's some dance music, have a good dance around the house, something like that, something to just kind of G me up and help to motivate me. I'm sure you've seen boxers and runners and things where they do things where they go and they do like 20 quick press ups and they do all those kind of things to kind of get the blood flowing and everything flowing around. So it's definitely something that I do. I think the other way that I used to motivate myself to do things that aren't particularly great is twofold. One, I try to do them first thing in the morning. So when it comes to things like my accounts, I always try to do those kind of things first thing in the morning. And then two, I reward myself with something. So it could be I reward myself with, with lunch out somewhere because I've got this work done. It might be that I reward myself by reading a chapter of my favourite book before I go into my next task. Or it might be, I might say, well, if I get all of these things done this week, then on Saturday I'm going to go for a facial, or I'm going to have a mani-pedi, something that's my thing. That's something that I really like to do. But when it comes down to sort of motivating your team, I find that the best thing to do is for them to understand the value in what they're doing. I think a lot of the times when we work with a team, we give them tasks to do, but we don't necessarily share the objective with them. So I know that if I get my accounts up and everything's good and going, and my accountant can do all my things, and I'm not rushing at the last minute to make sure that everything's done when it comes down to doing annual returns, and all of that good stuff. But from a point of view of my team, they're not necessarily feeling that. So from their point of view, I need them to understand, okay, fine, from a point of view of, having a great organisation with a fantastic credit rating, we need to make sure that we're doing these things, we're being timely. And they need to understand that those things help when it comes down to us bidding for additional work. It helps when they're talking to additional new clients, because then we've got these things behind us. So you need to be able to explain the reason why they do the things that they do. So, in HR, there is a lot of admin, there's lots of creating contracts, creating documents, there's lots of note taking and all of that stuff that doesn't feel particularly sexy, I guess, but it's definitely necessary from a compliance point of view. And I always talk about being compliant but not complicated. So it's really important that you are able to articulate to your team the reason why they're doing these things. So when your team are managing others and you talk to them about doing one-to-ones and keeping notes, it's not because you want to check up on what they're doing, but it's from a compliance point of view to make sure that should you end up in tribunal, you have the opportunity to show, you have those things to show, you have that evidence to display. So I think a good thing is always about being able to explain it. And I know it's time consuming to explain it. Hands up, anybody, you let me know, do you find it the same? You find managing staff can be really time consuming. You're trying to get your work done, you just want them to get their work done, but you're having to find that balance in between. So, so I think that's all. So I think it be taking the time to explain always makes it much better. The other thing is, motivation comes in different places for different people. Some people just like the recognition, they like the job well done, they like to know that they're doing well. Others, it's more taking consideration of their time. So for example, when I know that my team have worked over and above, then I'll be like, well, take an extra day, leave early, go spend some time with your children, that kind of stuff, which also works well. If you're in an environment where sales are important, or you've got a team that does stuff relating to sales, there's always the opportunity for bonuses and those kind of things, those kind of incentives to make things work. I've worked in customer services environments where actually the person who's got through the most calls, or the person who's not necessarily got through the most calls but managed to complete, so end-to-end solution for the problem, at the end of the month has ended up with like a free iPad or something. So there are lots of different things that you can do in order to motivate your team. Some of them are also around the fun things you do with your team, so perhaps a summer party, perhaps a team lunch. Those kind of good things also help to build team morale, to boost morale, and also to help to keep everyone motivated. I will say that you can never communicate enough. So if you make sure everybody knows where the organisation is, where the organisation wants to get to, and they can understand how their role fits in with that, they can see the golden thread between what they do and the company objectives, and they can see the positives that happen for them when the company succeeds, it always works well. So to go back to that, that motivation point, everybody is motivated differently, but if you can take time to get to know your team and take time to do some of these great things, it always works well. There's never been an organisation where someone said, they don't recognise, that they recognise me enough, or recognise me too much, or that I don't, or they make me feel overvalued. You can never, oh, hi Dan, how are you doing? And I've just been talking about how you motivate yourself and how you motivate your team even though you don't feel like it, and I was literally just talking about the fact that today I wasn't feeling particularly motivated, but I knew that if I got out and I did something physical, it would help. So I got out and did a great yoga class at the gym. I'm just sat in the car park right now, and I'll be heading back to my office shortly to get some more work done. So what do you, so Dan, what do you do when you're feeling demotivated? How do you motivate yourself? Or how does, you know, when you're at work, how do you like to be motivated? Feel free to share. If you're watching on a replay, also share how you like to be motivated personally, and what you do to motivate yourself, how you make sure that you get all the stuff done that you need to on a day-to-day basis. So I'm hoping that you found it useful. Please do, you know, if there's anyone in your network that you think this would be useful for, please do share it into your groups and share that into your community. And I will be back really soon. Oh, I can see. So Dan says that he focuses on his objectives. Exactly, that's amazing. So you've got a boss who's made sure they know what the objectives are. So one of the things I talked about was making sure you share with your team what the objectives are, not just sharing the tasks of the day, but making sure that you share what the objectives should be. So anyway, I am going to go and grab some lunch and refresh myself before I get back to doing some more work. But thank you so much for joining me. Have a fantastic rest of your Wednesday, of your hump day, and I will see you all again real soon. Bye.